is, just kind of fix this. My name is Stephen Aitchison, and today we're going over the markets. Not much happening in the markets today, unfortunately. It's a bit kind of sideways just now, a bit slow at the moment. Some kind of news, but we'll kind of look over that as well, look at over the daily markets as well, look at some of the kind of charts as well. If you want me to look at one of your kind of favourite projects, the charts of it, and do a little technical analysis, I'm a big fan of simple technical analysis. Let me know in the comments as well. If you're watching just now, just leave a comment just now as well. Just turn this off. Leave a comment. Let me know where you are in the world, just to let me know you're alive and kicking. And also a couple of announcements. There's a couple of announcements. One big thing, I've just been talking to Tim Boss and Elvin from ShareRing, and we've managed to secure a date for an interview with Tim Boss, and he's the CEO of ShareRing. I've been looking to get this done for a while. Didn't think it would happen, but it's going to happen because he's a really, really busy man. So we managed to get that set up for the 18th of December, and you can win 10,000 ShareRing tokens as well if you want to ask a question. We're going to pick 10 questions to ask Tim as well on the AMA. So I'm going to be recording a video with Tim, and then we'll put it live on YouTube a couple of hours after that. So get it recorded, edit, and then we'll do that as well. So big shout out to kind of Elvin as well for kind of getting that organised with me as well, and big shout out to Tim for agreeing to it. So excited about that. That's going to be really good as well. That's on the 18th of December. There's a link down below if you want to click on the Twitter link to ask your question, or just to retweet it and let everybody else know about ShareRing as well, because I think it's going to be really big. I'm really quite excited about ShareRing. But I'll be doing the AMA as well, so that's a big announcement for me. The other announcement is, are we going to vote after this? This is a UK vote. What's going to happen with the stock markets as well after this? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the stock markets, depending on what way the vote goes. From tomorrow we'll find out who's been kind of voted in. So we'll see what happens. So it's a kind of big day today as well. So I'll be voting SNP. I had a big argument with a friend yesterday about my decision to vote SNP. I'm just open about it. A lot of people don't want to share who they're voting for, and I don't care. I'll tell anybody that wants to know. I will be voting SNP. So I had a big argument yesterday. It was quite funny with one of my friends who's saying SNP are not good for business. They're a socialist party, and I'm a socialist kind of capitalist, which sounds like a kind of dichotomy, or it sounds like you just can't do that, but I kind of am. That's what I am. So that's the way I'm voting, and that's a big day today as well. Okay, let's get on, see if anybody's in the chat area. There is a couple of people in just now, so dive over to the chat area just now. Who's in? We've got Marcus Jafari is in the house. Welcome to you. Gordy Boy is in. G Slick is in. Stephen King is in the house as well, so welcome to you. Let me sip some coffee. I'm loving this coffee just now. I've got the vanilla kind of syrup in it as well. It's beautiful. So stop taking sugar and putting syrup instead, but syrup's all sugar anyway. Mike is in the house as well. Good morning to you, Mike. Good to have you here. Okay, we'll dive into the market, see what's happening just now. Push this back a wee bit. Right, we have an overall market capitalization of 194 billion. It's going down all the time. Bitcoin dominance has gone up slightly to 66.7%. We've got cryptocurrencies listed on CoinMarketCap as 4,922. Winners and losers, we've got Bitcoin down to 7,178. Suspect is a wee bit lower than that. That's the aggregated price across the exchanges. Who's the winners and losers? Waves is up 17%. Steam is up 9.31% on the back of TRON possibly taking them over. Educare is up. Mindall, Cosmos, Horizon, Luna is up as well. Not that many kind of big risers, and probably got about 20% in the green, 80% in the red just now. This is in USD value. Matic Network still going down, surprised at that. Just see what the Satoshi value is of Matic Network. 229, surprised at that, to be honest. Who else is going down? FetchAI still going down. Chainlink going down as well. Ravencoin, Enigma, VeChain, Kyber Network, KUST, Omisi Go is down as well, not by that much. But there's about 80% in the red, as I said. But again, it's kind of sideways market, so it's not big, huge drops or anything like that. So Matic still trying to recover from all that kind of hoo-ha the other day. Okay, biggest gainers and losers. I'll just kind of refresh this, see if there's any more change. Yeah, there is a couple. Hype token up 66%. That was A couple of hours ago it was up 100%. So Hype token on 62,000 volume, Jewel on 123,000 volume is up 52%, Pledge Coin is up 50%, Jewel Network is up as well 48%. So not big huge risers. Let's see over the last 7 days. Hype token 372%, Teller we looked at, Vector Space 999, the Midas Touch as well. So this is coins I've traded over $50,000 over the last 24 hours. We usually do $10,000, but they've changed the way CoinMarket have changed the way they kind of look at it, so I can't really see that anymore. Crypto bubbles, waves is kind of dominating the big kind of bubbles there. 17.2% over the last 24 hours. Matic down 13.5%, as we've just seen, predominantly in the red just now in USD value. BTC value, has it changed much? Goes a little greener, so that tells you the Bitcoin price is going down in dollar value. I'll put it down there and we'll do the hourly. Where are we? Hourly, predominantly red. PundiX down 7.5%. Steam is up 6.6%, but predominantly in the red. Was it change when we go to Satoshi value? It goes to more green in Satoshi value, so it tells you Bitcoin price is falling faster than the Satoshi value is rising. Okay, fear and greed index, we've got an extreme fear score of 23 at the moment. It was 20 yesterday, but it's 23 just now. And this is just the sentiment of the larger cryptocurrencies out there across kind of social media and that as well. How accurate this is, obviously we don't know, but it's just giving a sentiment score, and it's always good to kind of get a rough indication of what the sentiment is out there. So at the moment it's extreme fear just now, but it's been much lower than this before. So not too concerned about that. If it went down to 10 or 5 or something, then I'll be looking at buying get a Bitcoin in the larger caps as well. Okay, this is the sentiment score on the TAI.io. Bitcoin is up to 57, Litecoin is up to 52, Binance is up to 57 as well, and XRP is up to 70. So I wonder how that's going to affect the actual price. So it could be tweet volume has gone up 88%, so obviously something going on there. Well, there's always lots going on at XRP or Ripple. And we'll look at the individual coins to see if anything's changed. Rox Robotina is up 7 to 77. Relative trading volume is not that high. Market cap 14 million as well. So we're looking for kind of hidden gems. Gemini dollar, that's a stable coin. And Phantom is doing well, and relative trading volume is not that great though. Wakey Chain, a good sentiment. Relative trading volume is up, it's only up 2.51%. That might be worth looking at for the relative trading volume. And the tweet volume is up as well, so something might be going on with Wakey Chain as well. That's the only one that kind of stands out. Apart from Funfair, that's already up 10% as well. Good trading volume. And tweet volume has gone up kind of big time as well. TTC protocol. So the tweet volume has gone up in that for some reason. And that's all I was looking at, just looking at the tweets and looking at the kind of language within those tweets as well. And this is what we get the score of here as well. Okay, just jump back to chat, see else is anybody else in, if anybody. A couple of people, Mitch Dieter is in, Gary Parmenter, XLM seems cheap right now, was thinking Jed may inject some XRP sale profits into Stellar, was it just wishful thinking? Need to look at that, we'll look at the charts for that as well. Okay, what we're going to look at the Bitcoin price. Again, nothing much happening. As I said, it's just kind of the same old just now. It's going down every day ever so slightly, and it's kind of getting closer to the support line. And this support line for me is a critical line, I would say. So if it was to drop today, we can still fall to 6,700 without worrying too much, and then it kind of goes up every single day after that. So by the end of the year, if we're still following this trend line, we could be sitting at just 7,121, where we are just now basically. Round about there. 31st of December. No, probably 6,000, about 7,000. About 7,000 by the end of the year, if we kind of follow this trend line and just kind of bobble up and down on that. But if it falls below that, then I would start to get worried about the Bitcoin price shorter term. So again, as I said, nothing much happening with Bitcoin at the moment. We're still in this kind of descending channel just now, and kind of middle of the road of it, to be honest. So there's a bit of apathy out there. I think there's apathy in the kind of markets as a whole just now. And Binance, we're seeing that. Apart from waves, that's kind of going some. So is fun as well, to a degree. I'll just have a look at the fun chart very quickly. And where was the bottom? About 19, so it's gone up quite a bit since August. So it's doing not badly at all. And we looked at fun yesterday. We'll just have a quick look at fun BTC. And we're just talking about the next level for it to go up, and it wasn't there. So probably got a baseline here for fun, a new baseline probably around about 38, and your next level probably talking about 70. For fun, once it gets past 70, then you're looking at kind of much higher, around about the 95, 100 level. So I don't know what's driving out the fundamentals, if there's news coming out or what with fun just now. What else? The Steem is up. That's on the back of the news that TRON might might be a buy out there. Might buy that with TRON's dominance of want to dominate the entertainment kind of space as well. And nothing much else is happening. Tomo's been on a brilliant run as well. Yeah, Tomo's been on a brilliant run since it's kind of bottom, and this is just frozen. So the base was there, so it's been a great run from there. And let's go up 72%, and that's since the 8th of December, so you're talking 4 days ago. So it's done amazing, kind of at its peak 77%, it's still going up just now. And we spoke about this massive kind of cup and handle, and that's kind of what's happened where it's gone as well. Okay, G-Slick is in the house, hot. 9-10 Satoshi still. We'll just look at that as well. Mervyn Skidmore is in. Martin Gakir is in as well. Welcome to you. Okay, so we'll look at hot. In fact, we'll go to the actual charts, and we'll see if we can get the other chart as well so we can see other indicators. So I'm going to go to hot here, 9-10. It doesn't give us the order books. I was getting close to oversold, and if you can see with hot, I don't know if you've noticed this before, on the RSI, usually when it reaches around about that 30 level, it kind of bounces up from there, and that's when it supposedly bounces back up, or the RSI bounces back up from there. So it could be that it hits this level and then kind of bounces back up. So I would imagine 8-9 Satoshi is the kind of low for that. But we'll just look at the order books just now for hot. We've got that 9-10, so we've got to buy 1.8 billion at 9 Satoshi to sell 1 billion at 10 Satoshi. So it might go down another Satoshi to 8-9 Satoshi, and then I'll probably look at it as a buy at 9 Satoshi. So it could be quite good because the risk to reward ratio then becomes much better. That's the wrong one. I'll pull this over. Yeah, so the risk to reward ratio becomes much better at 8-9 Satoshi. David Sports, good morning to you. Good to see you here. Could you have a look at Zcash? It looks like it might be ready to pop. So look at that. We'll just do that just now. Actually, since it's quite quiet, we'll look at Zcash. And we'll look at the Binance one. Yeah. I'm going the daily, so it's just crossing over in daily just now, which is a good sign. Got a brilliant So we're going to go the baseline first, and we'll say here is round about the baseline is at the all-time low. So we've got a couple of touch points there for Zcash for the baseline. And just seeing if it's an all-time low. It's kind of spiked down below that. I think that was a flash crash, and that was way back in December, so talking 2 years ago. So this is the lowest it's been, round about these levels. So we have a low of 370,459. It's up to 428,000 just now. So it's not that far off its all-time low. Around about 20% off its all-time low. So it could well be about to pop. The only thing is RSI has gone up. Just now we're talking about an RSI of 59, which is not a bad thing in and of itself. We crossed over, the MACD had kind of crossed over around about these levels at the low of 370,000. So at the very bottom it crossed over. Volume has gone up as well, it's picking up. So it could be that this is going to go as well. It might be a slow rise. I don't think it's really crossed over. It's not really done too much at all since the 14th of May 2018. That's when it crossed over. How far did it cross over? About 50%. So it's not really done anything since. So it could represent a good buy, a good risk to reward ratio as well, I would say. So we're sitting here. I'm going to put the stop around about this level. This is on the daily, remember. So that's at 11% of there, and how much would you gain? So I'm talking about here for the next level. So 1.97 for the risk to reward ratio. I'd probably like it better than that, higher than that, to be honest. So where's the next level? So when I'm talking about the risk to reward ratio, you're talking about the next line up, the next resistance. I'd probably say the next major resistance would be here, and that's where I'm putting this for the risk to reward ratio. But if you go up to the next ratio, up there to the next resistance, that changes the risk to reward ratio obviously quite significantly to 5.92. But you would have to break through here first. So that would be the first risk of 1.93 for Zcash. And you're risking 11% there to possibly gain 21%. So it could be worth it. It might be worth looking at that. It's not the best risk to reward ratio I've seen, and I'm sure there's much more. We'll be looking at that as well. Looking at more risk to reward ratios as well. I'll be doing that kind of on every chart that I'm looking at. So that's Zcash. What was the other one? Hot, we've looked at that already. Can look at APL, Dennis van der Heijden. Good to have you here back. We'll just look at, is APL on here? I don't think it is. APL, no, I didn't think so. Just checking, so we'll go to charts, BTC. Charts, CoinTrader. APL, and we'll go BTC. We'll do CoinMarketCap. So we looked at the risk to reward ratio for that already, and I think that's when it was around about here, the 26th of November. So we've gone down since then. So we need to move this, I think. In fact, we'll take this up and do another one. So we've got a price here. We've got the bottom price as well. So it looks as if it wants to come back down here. It might retest that and bounce. So risking 22%. No, it's not a good play at the moment. And that's not even the next line. You're talking about the next resistance line probably being around about here. So a ratio of 2, it's not good. So what I would do with Apollo currency, it looks as if it wants to go down further here, and it might retest this kind of level of 7 Satoshi. That would be a good time to get in. So you could probably get in at 8 Satoshi to get in there. So I wouldn't probably risk it just now. And we'll go APL, Ethereum, and we'll go CoinMarketCap as well, just to give us more figures. 468. down to 329. So it looks as if it wants to go down to 329 again. And we'll get the double bottom there. Yep, possibly go down. So it doesn't look good for the short term for an entry price. But for an entry price, I would say around about the 330, 335 level. It's going to come back down there. This is on Ethereum. For a Satoshi value, we're talking about 7 Satoshi to get back in, 7, 8 Satoshi to get back in. So I think it's got another 1 Satoshi to drop before I would kind of go into that. Honest Crypto Journey is in the house. I hope you're feeling better, Stuart. G-Slick, Vet, TFD and SKM. Paul Doughty is in as well. Good to see you here, mate. VeChain. So just looking at charts just now, then we'll do a couple of charts, then we'll go over to the news. What the hell is that? Alpha Protect. Right. So we'll go to VeChain and we'll go to Bitcoin. That's Bitmex. We don't want Bitmex. Vet, BTC, Binance. Okay, short term, we're looking as we're going down here for VeChain. What could happen with VeChain? I said this the other day as well. What might happen is it could go down to 76 and bounce off the 50 EMA there. This is on the daily chart. We'll just go into the 4-hourly chart. That gives a shorter time frame, obviously. So it doesn't look good there, but I would say you're talking around about 70 for support there, or 79 and 70 for next level support. So it might bounce off here at the 79 level if it goes down to 79. But I would probably go for the daily and look for it to bounce off this level here, which is round about the same, 77, 78. So bounce off that level there and then go back up. I don't expect it to fall much further, but it did have a parabolic rise. You're talking about 100 kind of percent, 100 odd percent of the rise, so you can expect a pullback. So I wouldn't be worried about it if I was a VeChain holder. 147%, so that's a big rise. So we can expect a pullback, and we'll just look at the fib retracement. We'll look at it from the crossover point of view. And where are we just now on that line? Coming down to the 50% level. That's for 76. And so bouncing off the 50% level there. 61% would be 68. And that's the golden ratio. And a lot of the time it does come back down to there. So I wouldn't be too worried about VeChain just now. Quality project for the long term. Just not a good entry point at the moment. It looks as if it's going to go down a wee bit more. Good entry point would be maybe 76 and then coming down to the 68, 69 level for VeChain, and then a bounce back up from there. That's my feeling on that. What else? TFD, that'll need to go to charts. TFD, so they've been doing well recently, and we'll just look at the Bitcoin price and taking another jump up as well. So looking really good. That's on a 4-hour. Just go to the daily. So it gives you a better picture. You can see the macro view there is coming up a low there of 22. So it's really had a good run up since then. Crossed over again on the 20th of November at 49. Already had a run up. Good news for them as well. And I think the next level you're talking about is 103. So put your base levels in, as I said. We'll do that again. Always put your base levels in so you know where you came from and know where you're going as well. So we've got a base level there of 22. We've got a recent support level of 43. We want the next resistance line is 103 just now. That's the next kind of major resistance. So as came through the other resistances there. And so previous resistance was about 72. Then round about this level, there was a previous support there for a while. But I'm going to put the next resistance level at 103. Once it breaks through that, you're kind of in no man's land, all the way up to 171. So this could do really well. How are they doing? TFD. With regards to fundamentals, 2.8 million market cap, looking really good. Circulating supply 518 million, which is about 90% of the total supply, which is good. Max supply is 1 billion. Right, so they've got max supply there as well. So it could go up. Volume is looking 16,000, not that good. And if we paired, KuCoin is the main one. Yeah, there's not much action on the IDEX as well. I like TE Food. We spoke about it a kind of year and a half ago. I think it was about a year and a half ago. TE Food, it was doing really well, but it kind of since went down. And again, one of the ones that have been forgotten about, but they've still been working away in the background, where it did get up to 26 million market cap. So about, what, 12x from where it is just now. SKM, is that Scramble? Yeah, Scramble Network. I spoke about this before as well. 1.9 million. And we'll just look at the charts for Scramble. SKM BTC. This is one of the ones I discovered as well. Why? SKM, there we go. I keep forgetting that colon. And CoinMarketCap, that's dollar. SKM BTC, and we'll go CoinMarketCap. Okay, this looks like, just looking at it straight away, again, put your fundamentals in and put your baseline in first, and then put your next kind of resistance lines in. So obvious resistance of 37, next resistance up from there, you're probably talking around about here at 45. So it's currently at 27 just now. You've got a baseline of 24, which represents a really good risk to reward ratio. I like it, it's coming off its all-time low. So you're risking 14% just now. At 2.5. 2.5 is not brilliant, but you're talking, you've got a recency effect in play here as well when it went up to 56. So if we go up to 56, or just say 53 again, you're probably talking about risk to reward ratio of 6.25, but risking 14% still a wee bit high, to be honest. You could push that to risk at 23. I'd still say it was 14%. You've got a bottom there, so still risky, but potentially good rises. You've got the recency effect in play here from the 27th of November, so it could bounce off this level, around about the 24 level, and bounce back up. So it could represent a good opportunity, that. Kukla is in the house, welcome to you. Can you look at Engine Coin, still room to move on the short term to mid term? We'll look at that just now. We'll go to the bigger picture. So ENG, BTC. Okay, yeah, still room to move here. Lots of room to move. So Engine Coin we've seen, and I'm going to do the kind of Fibonacci from the crossover. So I'll do it a wee bit differently. I don't do it from the bottom, but I do it from the crossover on the 750. But we'll look at the bottom as well. So where is it just now? We're hitting perfectly this kind of line here, the 61%, which is the kind of golden ratio there. It bounced off there, but at the moment we're kind of sitting at this 38% level. So just to show that it did bounce off the 61% level on the crossover, I think what's going to happen is we're going to knock on the door of this level again, 1426, break through that, and then go up to this level here of around about the 2000 level to complete this kind of cup and handle formation. So I think that is what's going to happen here. We'll just go here, cup, handle, and then go up to the 3000 level, round about there. So I think that's what's going to happen with the technical analysis for that. But so there's still plenty of room to play with that. So 1426 is the next level. Needs to kind of get through that again, and then it goes up to the next level after that. So yeah, I still think it represents a really good opportunity. I think it's going to be huge in 2020. So short term and long term could be good. You would put your kind of stop loss. You'd put a stop loss in for here if you're going to go in. Is a good entry price for here. I'm just going to go down to the low charts to see kind of good entry. It was a good entry here. It crossed over at 1,083. So yeah, to me, it's a good entry for Engine Coin as well. I just think it's going to rise and rise and rise and just keep on rising. It's going to be one of those ones. We're going to look back on it and go, holy shit, it just kind of went up 10x or 20x or whatever. I think that's what's going to happen with it. But in the short term, it could come down depending on the Bitcoin price as well. But I wouldn't be worried. Engine Coin is one of those coins that even if it does fall, I just wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't be bothered holding it for the next year or so, because I think it's going to be huge in the gaming kind of platform crypto world as well. Just think it's going to be massive. So yeah, it does look good. I'm going to look at it from the weekly point of view. You've got a hammer there as well. That's just now on the weekly. That's not closed yet, so we can't really count that. So yeah, I'm still going to say 1426 for the next level to jump up to. So you're still talking a good 25%, and then on pushing on up to the 2000 level. Chris Cash, hi Steve, I sent 104 XRP to donate address yesterday, and because I don't have PayPal credit cards but want to support the channel keeper. Oh, thanks very much, mate. I've not seen anything. I don't get a message or anything when kind of goes through, but I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Mark Innes is in the house. Welcome to you, mate. I'm glad I got your kind of message about the fires as well. Morning, Stephen. Team, great news about the interview with Tim Boss. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. If I'm being honest, I'm a wee bit nervous about it as well. I don't know why. I suppose I'm always kind of nervous about interviews just to make sure I've got the right questions, but I put in a lot of work for the kind of research and stuff like that as well, because I want to get as much as possible. But the thing with sharing is there's just so much going on with sharing. It's unbelievable how much they've got going on. So I just want to pinpoint the kind of main points. Obviously, we've got questions as well. If you want to ask a question for Tim Boss, you can do. There's a link down below for the tweet that I posted this morning, and you can ask a question and win, possibly win 10,000 sharing tokens as well. And just for asking a good question, it has to be a good question, not what's the colour of your pants or something like that. It's just not a good question, so it has to be a good question. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Chris Camus is in the house. Welcome to you. Hello is in. Can you look at Kanya Coin now trading on Binance Dex? So we'll look at that. We'll look at that, and then we'll just jump into the news. So we'll go on to Kanya Coin. Where are we? Coin market cap on Bitcoin. It's doing well. We've looked at this before, and as we're saying, I kind of put resistance lines in there. Kind of put the baseline in here. Resistance line was, the first one was 248. Kind of shot through that. The second one's 319. And it's kind of touched that and came back down again. And the next one we're looking at is you're kind of into no man's land after that. But it's still going up. This is on the daily. It's still going up just now. Crossed over at 129. That'd have been a good time to get in and doubling your money 100%. But if it breaks down below the 246 level, you're probably coming down to about 182 before it bounces back up and goes up to 319. So is it an entry price just now? Probably. Difficult to say. I'd probably have to wait. If you're looking to enter, I would wait just now for an entry. If it starts moving back up from here, then I'll probably go in at 250, 255, and then it's probably on its way back up to 319. Once it breaks 319, then you're talking another good run up. But I wouldn't enter just now. If you're holding it just now, I wouldn't be too worried. It depends if you're holding it for the long term or for your trading. If you're trading, I'll take some profits off the table at the moment and then get back in again if you're going to do that, if you're going to trade it. So it looks okay. Lawrence Matthews is in, back with us. Good to see you back. Okay, we're going to look at some of the news that's kind of been making the headlines. Twitter is going decentralized with blockchain. So Jack Dorsey's vision for decentralizing social media. So this is from kind of Jack Dorsey. Twitter is funding a small independent team of up to 5 open source architects, engineers and designers to develop an open and decentralized standard for social media. The goal is for Twitter to ultimately be a client of this standard. This kind of surprised me, if I'm being honest, for a number of reasons. But currently Twitter CTO Parag Agrawal is in the process of searching for someone to lead the initiative. The Bluesky team plans to either work on an existing decentralized social media standard like Steem, a predecessor to EOS, or create one from scratch. That's the only direction we at Twitter Inc. will provide added Dorsey. So you could look at Uptrennd as well. And so have a wee look at Uptrennd if you're kind of watching this, Jack. Have a look at Uptrennd as well. You could look at their platform. It's likely the Bluesky team will find or incorporate a blockchain component into the project, the same technology that powers cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Ethereum. In fact, you couldn't look at Uptrennd because that's not decentralized, so you wouldn't be able to look at that. So I do apologise, take that back just now. But they're looking to do it, so have a wee word as well with the CEO. Finally, new technologies have emerged to make a decentralized approach more viable. Blockchain points to a series of decentralized solutions for open and durable hosting, governance, and even monetization. Much work to be done, but the fundamentals are there. So this was the part that got me as well. So at the moment, Jack Dorsey and the team, Twitter, control everything on the platform just now, including who sees what as well, including the algorithms and everything like that. If it goes decentralized, they don't have control over that as well. Do they have control of the monetization of it as well? This is the part that I'm just kind of curious about. How do they have that as well as a series of decentralized solutions and even a monetization? So I'm not quite sure about that, how they go about that. But at the moment, they've got control over it with it's decentralized. They've no control. So I'm just wondering about the kind of thinking behind this as well. I think the question as to whether this protocol will benefit Twitter as a business, exactly that was my kind of thoughts. Creating a new decentralized social media standard may shift power away from Twitter's platform, and with it the ability to effectively monetize as well. And Dorsey argues, however, that this instead would allow the social media giant to focus on innovation and engender healthier online discourse, which is what Twitter's all about, or meant to be all about. That's the whole ethos behind it as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But there's a lot of social media platforms up and coming as well. So I don't know what's happening with Howdo. I don't know. Howdo is, I've not checked in on them for a while. So Howdo is one, Uptrennd is one, obviously we've been looking at as well. Steemit, obviously TRON is interested in that as well. And there's a few others, Mind as well. Mind is kind of up and coming as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that space and kind of who comes to dominate it. But as we see with social media just now, there's not just one kind of dominant player. We've got Twitter, we've got kind of Facebook obviously as well. It's kind of going downhill. YouTube, you've got Instagram as well. You've got TikTok. So there's loads of kind of people in the market, and they cater to different demographics as well. So the Facebook demographic is totally different from your YouTube demographic. YouTube demographic is totally different from the TikTok demographic as well. So things are changing, but you can still have more than one player in that space as well. And I think competition is good because it's not really competition. It just drives you to further innovation. That's what I think about social media and business in general, to be honest. Crypto derivatives exchange Bitmex gets hit with $300 million lawsuit. So Bitmex, the leading cryptocurrency derivatives exchange, is now facing a $300 million lawsuit from its early investor, Bloomberg reports. The Seychelles-based exchange has turned into a behemoth due to the explosive growth of crypto in coming years, surpassing $1 trillion in annual trading volume at the end of June. Amato estimates that its share of the company would now be worth $50 million, but the problem, he was never granted the equity. In his suit, he states how he was misled by the exchange. So this is an early investor of Bitmex. Apart from demanding his $50 million equity, Amato is also seeking punitive damages to the tune of $250 million, which brings the total value of the suit to $300 million. Bitmex is no stranger to legal woes, blah, 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 we know about that. So is this the end of the Bitmex era? Definitely, I think it is. And about time too, to be honest. But with Amato as well, I don't like this litigious society we live in. I hate it. It's huge in America, always has been big in America. It's coming over to the UK and Europe, and I hate this litigious society we live in. Especially the likes of this, it should have been more at the very beginning of this kind of transaction, whatever happened with him and kind of Bitmex. He should have been on the ball and kind of demanded equity from the get-go instead of waiting until it become huge to demand that. So he's now pissed off because it's obviously become really huge. But I just don't like this litigious society we live in general. It really pisses me off, to be honest. If you trip up on the kind of sidewalk, it's your fault for not looking properly. It's not the kind of council's fault or anybody else's fault. There's a wee bit of a divot in the ground or something like that. So it doesn't it angers me, to be honest. I don't like this kind of society we live in, where everybody thinks they're due something or they're owed something from somebody, and where there's blame, there's a blame. Where there's blame, there's a claim culture. I do not like it at all. I hate it, and this pisses me off as well. When I read about this, he should have been more diligent at the beginning. Anyway, that's my rant over. This was one as well. This is Ivan on Tech. I really like Ivan on Tech. He's kind of really big on the tech stuff, and I'm not so hot on the tech stuff. When I'm looking, I still need to really get to grips with the tech stuff when we're talking about the blockchain. But Ivan on Tech, I like him for that as well. But it's got, what kind of pump and dump altcoin is this? Down over 95% from the all-time high. Oh, that's Deutsche Bank stock. Big changes coming to the financial industry by Bitcoin. There's a couple of other stories here as well. Morgan Stanley fined 20 million euros over pump and dump tactics. What was the other one I've seen here as well? So this is kind of the news story about Deutsche Bank. They kind of could trigger a financial crisis, but I think it's much more than that that's going to trigger a financial crisis. Can you guess this shitcoin? So somebody's put up, can you guess this shitcoin? It goes all the way up to $3.79 and comes all the, more than that. $3.79 on 20th February 2009, but it did go up to about $60 and went all the way down. And that is Bank of America, apparently. So they talk about the kind of financial world, and the kind of government talk about how volatile crypto is. But crypto is volatile, Bitcoin is volatile, but we've got to look at traditional stocks as well, especially financial ones. I remember when Royal Bank of Scotland kind of fell down big time in 2008, 2009 as well. So there's a bit of hypocrisy in the kind of markets just now in traditional markets compared with the kind of crypto markets as well. And it makes me think even more that this is why we need blockchain, this is why we need Bitcoin as well in the financial industry. So I think a little bit of hypocrisy kind of going on here as well when the government talks about how volatile the markets are. Bitcoin price risked a massive drop to low $6,000 level before another parabolic move. This is from traders. This is Johnny Moe. Takes a deep hit of the hopium. Who's with me? BTC. Hoping that Bitcoin goes back up. So just talking about going down to 6,000. Wolf of Wall Street's as well on Twitter as well. So it's just a couple of traders that are talking about going down. But as I've said, with Bitcoin, it's not a bad thing. Look at BTC, USD. It's not a bad thing if it does go down to $6,000 by the end of the year. I don't want it to go down to $6,000, but 6,702. If it's still staying within this descending channel as well, we could effectively go to about $6,000 by the end of the year at the bottom of this channel, or we could go to the top of the channel, 8,600, or even break out of that channel as well, or break down below. So you just don't know what's going to happen, but I wouldn't be too worried if it does go down to 6,000. That was the point I was trying to make there. Stellar cancels 2 billion XLM airdrop. Somebody was talking about that earlier on. So the Stellar Development Foundation won't be airdropping 2 billion lumens after all. In a blog post yesterday, Keybase and Stellar Development Foundation announced the cancellation of its 2 billion lumens airdrop program after getting attacked by hordes of fake accounts. This month will be our last of the Stellar space drop. On the week starting December 15, we'll distribute the final 100 million lumens among all qualifying members. So they're cancelling the 2 billion XLM airdrop as well. Study: China's BTC miners control 66% of global hash rate. 66% is huge. That's not to say there could be a possible kind of 51% attack. I don't think it's talking about this here, but it's just talking about the hash rate overall global, and 66% is a huge number. So China's Bitcoin miners are now responsible for controlling as much as 66% of global hash rate, a new report claims. And where Reuters reports this December 11th, hash rate is a measure referring to the overall computing power involved in validating transactions on Bitcoin blockchain. As reported, more power suggests greater network security, as well as interest in the profitability potential of mining Bitcoin. So this is the highest recorded hash rate since 2017, and this is a report from Reuters, as I said. So interesting. what was that? Oh, drink. This is a study I was kind of looking at. Drinking baking soda could be an inexpensive, safe way to combat autoimmune disease. I was just doing some research. From all research, I don't know why I kind of pressed on that. And that's it for the news, basically. So some interesting news stories out there as well. Is there anything else that's up and coming? IRS really needs an exemption for crypto. Bitmex now owns Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. So there's nothing major come out in the last couple of minutes since we've been on. Crypto Dread, sorry I'm late, I hope I didn't miss too much. Nah, didn't miss a thing, Crypto Dread. Mitch Dieter, do you still feel strong about XRP? I do. I just don't talk about XRP as much because I'm pissed off I'm not in it, but I still feel strongly that XRP is going to do extremely well. I still think they're building the foundations, they're building everything, they're doing everything right just now, and they're making more and more partnerships, they're doing more and more partnerships, and it's just a matter of time as to when it's going to explode. It's not a matter of if it's going to explode, it's a matter of when it's going to explode and really become a major kind of force in the crypto space as well. So yes, I do still feel strongly. And I guess I probably don't, it's probably a psychological thing that I don't talk about it as much, because I think if I talk about it, it's going to push the price up, which is not. I do not have any influence at all. But if it pushes the price up, then I'm kind of scuppered for getting back in. I don't know if I will get back in. It's just, I had about 60, 70,000 of them. I'm just pissed off, but we'll see what happens. So yes, I still feel strong about XRP as well. Same with Ethereum as well. Still really like Ethereum as well. I'm just going to see something just now, 1 wee second. I'm just going to jump over. I keep getting messages popping up. I don't know if it's a warning or something. I know it's not. Right, just jump back over. I think that's it. Yeah, I thought it was somebody warning me or something. But that's it for just now. 21 people watching. I'll just leave it there for just now. Just a wee bit early this morning. But thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. I'm away to vote just now. I'll be taking 10-15 minutes out and I'll be walking up to the voting polling station and voting for SNP. So let's see what happens there. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate your time and having a wee kind of coffee and chatting about crypto with me. And I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. And by tomorrow, we should kind of know the results of what's happening with the UK as well. And we'll take a look at the stock markets after that as well, see if it's had any effect whatsoever. I don't know what the kind of stock market people want. And do they want the kind of Tories in? Do they want Labour in? I don't know. Be strange. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, until tomorrow, namaste. Take care. Bye now.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.